Hello everyone, this is Marco Bersani from the Bersani Law Firm and Partners from Italy, and welcome back to the channel. As you maybe saw, we posted another videos about the frequently asked question. Here is the links to the other videos, so if you didn't see that video, I strongly recommend to also check that video because it's really interesting and there's a lot of questions that we share with you. But today we want to implement the question to share with you other questions, so we are sure that you will find one, two, or maybe all the questions that you were searching for here in this video. So do not lose any more time, let's start. So the first question is, how do I get Italian citizenship? Well, this is a really general question, so there are many ways you can get Italian citizenship. First of all, let's distinguish between the Italian citizenship by descent or by marriage, because the process is completely different. So how do I get Italian citizenship by descent, for example? Well, there are many ways you can get Italian citizenship by descent. Mostly of them are through filing an application, filing a petition through your local Italian Consulate if you are living abroad, or through the Italian municipality if you are living in Italy, or through an Italian immigration court. When you can choose to apply through the Italian immigration court and so avoiding the Italian consulate. Technically speaking, you should apply through the Italian consulate. If you cannot apply through the Italian consulate because of lack of appointments, you can sign a power of attorney to an Italian immigration lawyer and file your petition for Italian citizenship by descent through an Italian immigration court. This is something that of course we do, and we do for almost all people, because all people now around the world are facing the same issues of the lack of appointments, especially from the US. So if you are facing this issue, if you are trying to book your appointment, every day you connect on the consular website, but it's impossible, you are unable to book your appointment, but well, write to us, contact us, so we are sure we can help you and we can file your petition for Italian citizenship by descent. Differently, if we are talking about the application for Italian dual citizenship by marriage, well, how can you apply? Well, you can apply by filing your application not directly through the consulate, but you can apply by filing your petition through the Italian immigration portal. There is a specific website the Ministry of Internal Affairs created for filing your petition online, and after that, if the application process will be entered in the right way, your Italian consulate will process your application. So the process is different, because in the application by descent you need to file in person, so through the consulate or through an attorney by the Italian court. In the application by marriage, through marriage with an Italian citizen, in this case you need to file through the Italian immigration website. The second question is, how long does it take to get Italian citizenship by descent or by marriage? But in the process of the application of Italian citizenship by marriage, how long does it take? Well, it may take up to 3 years. On average, we can consider that the process may take not less, for sure, not less than 1 year and a half. You have to consider that it takes a lot of time to collect all the documents, then all the documents must be certified, must be legalized in the way of the apostille, and then you have to translate all the documents, and after that, as a final step, we can file your petition for Italian citizenship by descent. There are many factors involved that are out of our control, like for example, how long does it take for the, as an example, from the American Vital Records offices to release you the certificates, how long does it take for the apostille, how long does it take by filing, for example, through the court for the judge to be assigned, and then for the judge to set the hearing date according to the judge agenda. So there are many third-party factors that can be involved into the process. So we of course we have no control of them. Differently for the process of Italian citizenship by marriage, the processing time is more specific because the law says that as long as you file the application through the portal, the administration should decide your case in maximum 2 years. So you can expect to have a case decision in 2 years or maximum 2 years and a half. It really depends. But yes, this is a really more specific time frame. Another question is, how much does Italian citizenship cost? We already talked about that in the other videos that we posted about the frequently asked questions. So when it comes to the cost, you have to distinguish between the expenses and the cost. The expenses are the money that you spend for getting, for example, the documents and for the vital expenses that you have for the process itself. So how much you spend for requesting a certified copies and hard copy from the offices, how much you spend for the apostille, how much you spend for translation, so the vital cost that you have. Here you spend around 300 euros in the court fees, and so all the legal fees. For the legal fees, we always recommend to contact us so we can give you a tailored estimation, beside the fact that we have some service packages depending on your needs, depending on the number of your family members, so we can analyze your case, your eligibility for free of charge, and then we can give you the advice on the best application path together with the estimation of the fees. Another question, how do I prove my Italian ancestry? But there are many ways to prove that. Basically, you need to collect all the documents starting from your Italian ancestor to you and to the other, eventually the other family members that are joining the application with you. So you should collect all the documents, so all birth certificate, all marriage certificate, all death certificate, and all documents regarding the naturalization or the non-naturalization of your Italian ancestor. Basically, you need to prove everything what happened since the birth of your Italian ancestor to you. So when they were born, in the location of their birth, it is valid for all the generations. So birth certificate, marriage certificate, death certificates, for proving what happens generation through generation until you as a main applicant. Another question, how many generations back can you claim Italian citizenship? Well, there is not specifically a generation limit. So what is really important, the only things to keep in mind is that before the year 1861, Italy didn't exist. So there is no Italy, and so there is no Italian citizenship. Doesn't make sense to trace your genealogy before that here, because actually you cannot apply, you cannot use that ancestor because Italy didn't exist. How can I apply if I have a 1948 case? As we already told in many other videos, here the last video that we posted about the 1948 cases, when you have a so-called 1948 case, the only way to apply right now is to file your petition through an Italian immigration court. So only an Italian immigration attorney can handle your petition, can file your petition, and can represent you until the end of the process. There is no way to apply through the local Italian consulate because the Italian consulate will deny for sure 100% your case. The consulate will deny your case simply because there is not a law that regulate the so-called 1948 cases. So the only way is to go through an Italian immigration court. The 1948 case that we said many times are now considered as a case law, so it's not a problem. If you are eligible, your case, with a really high chance of success, your case will be approved, so don't worry about that. Another question, how to get Italian citizenship by descent with the 𝙘𝙤𝙪 sanguinis? Well, when you read online 𝙘𝙤𝙪 sanguinis is a Latin word that refers to the application for Italian citizenship by descent. So it's the same thing. So when you read Italian citizenship 𝙘𝙪 sanguinis, it's exactly the same thing as Italian citizenship by descent. How to get Italian citizenship citizenship by descent through an Italian court, and when? Well, this is a really interesting question. We already talked about that in this video when we talk about the lack of appointments at the Italian Consulate. You can apply through the Italian court, so you can file your petition for Italian dual citizenship by descent if you are facing issues to book your appointment at the consulate. So if there are lack of appointments at the Italian consulate, you are unable to book your appointments, and you tried your best effort to try booking your appointment, then you can file your petition through an immigration attorney at the local Italian immigration court. It's the only way to get your petition approved if the consulate, for many reasons, is not allowing appointments, and it's like years, months, or many years you try every day to connect on the portal, try to book your appointments, connect at midnight, hoping for an appointment, and you never find an appointment. Anyway, contact us because this is something that we will check for you. We will also advise you on the best strategy for the application, so if your case can be solved and can be approved through an Italian immigration court. So these are only a few of the questions, the many questions that we receive every time, almost every day. So we are so happy about that because the team told me that we received a lot of emails, about a lot of messages, a lot of also comments here on YouTube channel. So we are so happy to interact with you and to reply to your question, to your doubt. So do not hesitate every time to contact us. You can also contact on our website. Let's remember that a contact is free of charge. So if you want to request just some information, we can evaluate your case for free. We always do a free eligibility check. The team is our expertise team to check your family chart, so do not worry about that, except in case you don't, you want a specific and in-depth consultation about your case, and we can also handle it. So we will post other videos about frequently asked questions, so these are only a portion of the many questions that we receive. That's why you need to subscribe to our channel and also to our old social media pages on Instagram, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, and also on Twitter. So every time there are some updates and news, we will also post there. But for sure, if you are subscribed to the channel in here on YouTube, you will be the one to be notified about the new videos. So thank you so much again for your attention, and see you on the next videos.